Hello, my name is James O'Brien. I'm the Operations Director of iIntro, and today I want to share some thoughts with you on what it's like and what it takes to be a New World recruiter. Hope you enjoy the video. So what I'd like to share with you today are our views on the New World recruiter. What we're trying to do here is share with you really the difference between how you're used to working in recruitment and how you need to reshape yourself and reframe yourself so that you're relevant to today's marketplace. So the first thing I want to share with you is, and there are going to be 4 quadrants in this particular one. In the first quadrant, we've got something called the candidate background. The candidate background. Now, this is the way that you're currently recruiting. Your primary motivations for recruiting people are to find candidates with the right background that fit the job specification of your client organisation, the employer. And typically that means we're identifying candidates who have the right skills, knowledge and experience. And that's all well and good if you're just looking to make basic placements and actually not worry about how long they stay with the employer. Not really your problem. You might sort of rebel against what I'm saying there, but essentially your placement criteria are to find candidates who fit the specification and then get out of there. Once placement's made, is forget about it. But the New World recruiter is actually focusing on the retention of people they place. Now, this is sometimes counterintuitive to recruiters because they think, well, if I place a candidate and they leave after 9 months, not my problem. I didn't hire the person, the client did. They'll come back to me again to get the next replacement. But the reality is clients have a lot of choice, and if a failure in hiring has taken place, they're more likely to blame the recruiter than blame themselves. Maybe unfair, but that's the way it happens. So what we have to do is focus on what can we do that's actually going to improve the retention of new employees, which means the clients feel more engaged with themselves and actually give us more work, not less work, and potentially give us more work at better fees because they know our service works. So how are you going to deliver that in the brave new world? Well, the reality is going to introduce a couple of other things. So we're going to introduce behavioural assessment. And in a later video, I'll talk to you a little bit more about what that means. It's not just about the profiling of candidates, but it's actually about working with clients to identify what good looks like in their organisation. So we've got one quadrant up there, second quadrant down here, behavioural assessment. And we're going to focus there on not just what makes somebody sort of fit into an organisation, but how can somebody perform at the right level in that organisation and therefore become a fantastic employee for that client, which, as I say, reflects amazingly well on yourself. The third one we need to look at is competency-based assessment. Now, competency-based assessment, competency-based frameworks, it's a phrase that's well known in the recruitment industry, and particularly in the HR industry. But actually, if you put yourself in the seat of an employer, the reality is they don't know how to interview very well. And they do what we call coffee shop interviews. Quite often they're interviewing candidates over here, looking at the background of the candidate and just asking relatively banal questions about how they got on at company X or company Y. They'd really like to find out how the candidate would behave on the job, but they don't know the questions to ask. So we're going to have to help the New World recruiter is actually going to help the client with their questioning techniques. Now, if you've ever sat in on a client interview, and many of you will have, you'll understand what I'm saying here is that most clients don't know how to interview very well. No matter their seniority in the organisation, they're not very good at this particular part. And then the New World recruiter is going to look for what we call next generation technology. That's the next gen technology. There's a massive quell and clamour in the marketplace for people to adopt new technologies into the process, but sometimes they're just adopting it for adopting its sake. The reality is when you actually wrap it all together, you're going to make yourself a new age recruiter, because what we see is in the marketplace, what we've got here is we've got these 4 quadrants. So you've got this quadrant here, this second quadrant here, this third quadrant here, and this fourth quadrant here. The New World recruiter does all 4. The Old World recruiter is just focused on candidate background and making placements. And if you want to make a difference to your clients so they come back to you time and time again, what you really need to do is actually engage all of these together so that you're offering a much better service. And if you deliver that type of service, clients will come back to you time and time again. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you'd like to know how we can help you become a New World recruiter, please click on the link below for a free consultation with me or one of my colleagues. We look forward to speaking to you soon.